traveling the mountains just to find the loudest tears. We set down by the fire, knowing we could aim higher, but we didn't know that yet. So if you want something to hold on to, gotta find it first. But here I am, 'cause I've been laying under palm trees, waiting for the summer, knowing there's nowhere to go. 'Cause I am happy on this island, wanna be my funland. I don't ever want to leave, I'm in a tropic club.
Jack it up.
Audio check 1, 2, 3. Testing the audio compared to the game sound. Checking compared to the onboard. Compared to the onboard sound of the cars. Audio check. Checking the audio, 1, 2, 3, checking the audio. Check 1, 2, 3. How are we doing? Alright, testing the mic 1, 2, 3. Are we good now? Hopefully we are. That's as good as it's going to get. Welcome along everybody to the Motive Racing channel. We're here for the second round of the PlayStation 5 ACC GT3 League. We're here at Imola. It's looking pretty rainy tonight. It's looking southern, not too bad, I wouldn't say it's monsoon-like conditions, but it's certainly quite slippery at the moment. And I want to say a big warm welcome to everybody out on the track. 22 cars here for this second race of the season. We had an exciting first round of the season at Silverstone. It went down to the wire between Tynus in the house and Jazzman. Those two had a great race-long battle in which Tynus managed to just about hold on to take the spoils at the end of that one. So we're looking to try and make it 2 from 2 this week. I'm sure that Jazzman's going to be out there with a vengeance this time around, looking to try and settle the scores of last week. You've got those two currently 1 and 2 in this session, and quite some way ahead of the rest of them, as Tynus just goes a little bit quicker there at the top of the leaderboard. He's just done a 1 minute 47.0 so far in this session, so looking very quick once again. Here is Tynus. Here comes Jazzman up towards the line. Can Jazzman improve a little bit on P2 in this session? He does. He goes up into P1, so he goes 10th quicker than Tynus in the house. This stage in the season, it's already looking a little bit like it's going to be between these two for the title race. They just seem head and shoulders above the rest of them tonight. We didn't really see it in the practice session. We saw drivers like Rompu really up there in the thick of it in the practice. He's still yet to do a lap time, is Rompu, so we're still yet to really see the true potential of Rompu at this stage in the session. But yeah, at the moment, Jazzman and Tynus looking very strong. You got Emrosh up there as well, not too far away. Let's ride with Rompu. This man was one of the quickest in the practice session a few minutes ago. Let's keep track and see what he can get up to here. As here he comes over the line. Rompu goes P3, so he's just about a second off of the fastest time being set by Jazzman, so that's a good lap there from Rompu. Everybody out on the track except for Chicken Wing, so 22 cars in the session, 21 out on the track. I want to say awesome turnout once again, guys. I know that there's a 30 car capacity, but you know, it's early days on the PS5, and I understand that it's going to take time for the fan base to build up on the PlayStation 5 platform. But we here at Motive are one of the first to dive straight into having exclusive PlayStation 5 leagues on ACC. And so far, anyway, it's looking very promising indeed. We're just riding on board with the provisional pulses to Jazzman. Tynus in the house it looks like he's been into the pits since we last saw him, because he's now a little way. Oh no, actually, hold on. Yeah, no, he's a little way. He's just going through the middle part of the lap at the moment. Let's ride with Jazzman, see if he can improve his current lap time. He's currently sat on a 146.9 as it stands. He's coming up towards the line. Let's see what this man can do in the number 1 Bentley, last week's runner-up at Silverstone in the opening round of the season, and he's just gone even quicker there. Look at that, a 1 minute 46.5, so he's 4 tenths clear now of Tynus. Here's Rompu, currently sat in 3rd in the session. Oh, that will have just stopped him in his tracks a little bit there. Somebody has just lost it right there in front of him, and Rompu is probably going to have to back out of this current lap that he's on there. That's not going to have been ideal at all there for him, as he's coming in towards the final hairpin. So he's going to have to just get himself together, regroup and go again. He would have lost a few tenths there, but nonetheless he's got a couple of attempts left in this session before the session will conclude. So he's coming up towards the line at this moment in time. Emrosh is behind Rompu on the track. Let's see what Rompu can do here though, as he comes over the line. Doesn't improve, so probably down to the fact that he had to slam the brakes on coming through the last sector there. I think, if my memory serves me correctly, I don't know, I could be monumentally wrong here, but I think that the fastest time that Rompu did in practice was a 47.0, so he's got time to find here for sure. You know, he's definitely got more in the locker. It's a case of whether or not he can bring that to the fore here at the end of this session. But we've got Krukip and Sakin Andre currently in the pits at the moment. Dazza Snipes just coming through the pit lane towards the end of the pit lane, so he's coming out for another crack at it. Also want to say a big shout out to Dazza Snipes. Has been offering a lot of help and support to myself on the Discord in terms of getting the streams working and up and running. He's been really helping us out a lot. I didn't have you wrote a really long message to me earlier, Dazza, and I was busy eating food and getting ready for the stream. So I must say it's really appreciated, all the help and advice that you're giving me in terms of the streams, and I will get back to you on that as soon as this stream is over, because I definitely would like to look into some of that. But yeah, big shout out to him. Also friendly face within the Discord server as well, currently P10 in this session. But looking back up the order, Lucam's just gone into P5, so Lucam's good lap there. came P3 last week at Silverstone, so it was a decent opening round from Lucam. He was best of the rest behind Jazzman and Tynus, who dominated the race. Tynus in the end obviously taking that narrow victory. We've got Tynus coming through the final corner here. Can he get a little bit closer to Jazzman? Can he maybe snatch pole position away from him? He'll get one more lap after the one he's currently on, will Tynus, as he's coming up towards the line now. You can see somebody just in the distance there, just in front of him. But here comes Tynus now, up and over the line, and he doesn't improve, stays in P2 for now then. Emrosh just improved his lap time, he's got a little bit quicker to the front too, he's now 1.1 off of the pace. Rompu coming through coming out of Villeneuve, chicane up towards Tamburello. You've got Saki and Andre just coming through the middle sector. Krukip's in the pits, Buzz is sat in the pits also. And you've got Poplog there just coming through the first sector at the moment. High Grade making his debut tonight. Welcome to High Grade, welcome to Motive. Good to see you out on track for the first time. We've got Raki coming through that final chicane bit there. You've got Dakuna, otherwise known as Quideo, more well known as Quideo, the former champion of the GT3s on the PS4, racing with us on the PS5 for this season. You got Dazza Snipes out there at the moment, just coming through the first sector, so he's just on a lap. It wasn't really able to move himself up the order from where he already been. Salty Joe 14th. We've got LRT Rooster sat in 15th place in this session. He's in the pits, as is Salty Joe. Drew the Great sat in the pits as well. You've got Stones Racing in 17th place. Currently in this session, still out there, can still improve. Scooter Paul 18th. Surprising to see Paul down on 18th. We know he's capable of more than that. You've got Lexi Mate in 19th. Ruster will be starting in 20th as it stands in this session. Sharka Zulu in 21st place, and Chicken Wing rounding out the grid at this point in 22nd place, last but by no means the least. And should be an interesting battle there at the back for those positions in around 19th, 20th, 21st, 22nd place. We will try to keep an eye on that as the race goes on. But we've got Tynus just coming up towards the line. Let's see what Tynus can put on the board. Can he find the 4/10 required? Can he get ahead of Jazzman here? He comes up towards the line now. What is this going to be for Tynus? It doesn't look like he's improved, so that's that for him then. He's going to get a front row start by the looks of it, unless somebody somewhere out there can pull off an absolute worldy, a miracle of a lap. We've got Dazza Snipes still on a run. Sharkazuli's just pitted, so it is just Dazza Snipes now left on a run in the final part of this session for Motive Racing's GT3 Championship on the PlayStation 5 platform. Here he comes down towards that final hairpin, that double left-hander. What can Dazza Snipes put on the board here? Onto the brakes, pretty cautious there on the entry, not overdriving it, doesn't want to invalidate his lap or mess it up right at the very end of this session. Here he comes out onto the final, out onto the main straight. He's got his foot absolutely flat to the board, so he'll be coming up, so he'll be looking at that line, he'll be looking at that timer, he'll be thinking, what is it going to be? Here he comes, he crosses over and he goes P10 there. So Dazza finds 0.6 of a second right at the end of the session and moves himself up 3 places. Beautiful up there from Dazza Snipes. But that is that then, ladies and gentlemen, for the qualifying session here at Motive for the PS5 GT3s. It's Jazzman lining up on pole by 0.4. So he's once again Jazzman on pole position for the PS5 GT3s. Tynus will line up alongside him. Can Jazzman this time get the start that he needs, rather than sleeping off the start line and getting jumped by Tynus as he did last week at Silverstone? That's going to be the big question. It's looking pretty much like it's a match between these two tonight. I hate to say it, but I can't see anybody else getting involved in this one. I'd love to be proven wrong though. I'd love to be proven wrong, but it's looking like it's going to be between these two once again. Emrosh and Rompu on the second row. Lucam and Krukip on the third row, with Saki and Andre Spuzz in 7th and 8th places. Poplog and Dazza Snipes completing the top 10. Then we've got High Grade Raki lining up in 12th place. Great to see Raki out on track. A regular in our F1 league as well, and our F1 league coordinator standings man for that one. Raki is a great face to have within the Discord. He's always chiming in, he's always helping people out, he's always being a communal type of person here at Motive Racing, and him and his son Joram racing the F1 League on a Friday. His son Joram is actually the reigning champion of the F1 League, those two driving the Red Bull for that one. So yeah, good to see Raki as well. We've got one more driver joining the session by the looks of it, so the number 52 Ferrari, can't remember who that is now, we're about to find out once they actually get themselves in the session. But yeah, that's that, ladies and gentlemen. That's the grid. We've already been through the bottom part of the grid, so looking forward to this one. Let us know in the comments if you're watching who you want to see win this one. I don't know if there's anybody in the comments right now. I know that the onboard cameras weren't the most popular, but actually, you know what, we got a few people in here watching this. Here we are. So we got, wow, look at these comments. Oh my God. Brilliant. JR saying, our boy Rompu out on track loud and clear, and he says, Lightblade screen audio was fine, by the way. Sub JR, waiting for F1 highlights still. For fuck's sake, how's your daylight? Yeah, pretty good, Andy. Yeah, that's JR speaking to Lightblade there. Obviously, Lightblade and JR teammates in the Run DJC team here on the PlayStation platform. JR says, I'm sure he's trolling me with the screen, right? Yeah, pretty good, dude. Sunday, chill out. I'm pretty sure he's trolling me with the screen. Hold on. So what's the audio line? I don't know. This could be a bit out of date. Perfect, Andy, says Lightblade. All right, cool. Don't tell me the F1 results, please. JR, here's the F1 result. There was a race with one winner and two other podium finishers. Is it? Are you sure about that? Well, I don't need to watch it now, says JR. Rompu should be 47, says JR. Pole 46.5, Jazzman looking very quick. Best looking delivery on the grid in regards to Rompu. Big thanks to Chris and the Enduro boys for the setup work with Rompu before. What are the differences between ACC PS4 and PS5? About 400 quid, says Liveblade. Frames are better on PS5, much better, much more smooth. 1080p as well instead of 720p. Big difference, that one. To be fair, if it's 400 quid, JR, then you're getting an absolute steal, because for me, it cost me 530 quid of money that I did not have and I had to borrow. So, yeah, quite a... basically, I might as well have just sawed my arms and legs off for that one. In terms of gameplay, Lightblade says, well, you can only use bonnet cam on PS5. For the spectator cam, you can. Hopefully, they'll get the spectator mode sorted out. I don't know if it's a priority at the moment, and the reason why is, I believe, because the makers of ACC, Kunos, whatever they're called, I think they pretty much assume that everybody who's going to be streaming and going to be showing races live on YouTube and Twitch is going to be on PC. So I think they've just been a little bit slapdash with it on the PS5. But there's people like me who can't afford a PC and who like to play PlayStation. It was bad enough forking out 500 quid for a PS5. I could never even consider paying $1,000 or $2,000 for a PC. But hey, yeah, no, that's the thing. Unfortunately, I think for PS5 users, we've just got to make do with what we've got for now and hope that ACC bring a new spectator mode or bring out a trackside spectator mode pretty soon. It's Bug, says JR, at least there's not blue screening and missing wheels. Yep, that's a bonus. Wouldn't be an issue for anyone who already uses bonnet like us, but for everyone else it must be weird, says Lightblade. Yeah, I use the bonnet as well. I can't use the cockpit to save my life. I can't see a thing outside of the cockpit cam. It's just like driving in a tunnel, basically. The only way, says Lightblade, 100 comments by only 2 people. Oh my God, are you serious? 100 comments? No, not yet. Not yet. Keep it up, boys. Keep it coming. But here we are then, guys. We're about to get going for the formation lap. We're just sat in the pits at the moment watching my onboard. There is Jazzman leading us around for this formation lap. You've got Tynus just behind him. These two fought out the finish to last week's race at Silverstone. Tynus in the house. We're riding on board with him at the moment. We'll be starting this race from second place. Can he do the same thing that he did last week at Silverstone and get the jump on Jazzman? Jazzman's a bit sleepy off at the start line last week. He'll be looking to try and make up for that this time. I am sure about that. And Roche lining up behind these guys in P3 with Rompu in 4th place there just behind him. You've got Crewkip in P5. Lucam just overtaking Crewkip here on the formation lap, so not sure what's going off there. But Lucam, I don't know if he's supposed to be in front of him. Raki saying good evening, or stop texting and driving. Hello Raki, good to see you, mate. He is actually testing and driving right now. Let's see how he's doing. Well, he seems to be handling it quite well, so I don't know if he's got his PR man Joram texting for him at the moment, but nonetheless, Saki and Andre lining up in 7th place behind Crewkip and Lucam. We've got Spuzz in 8th ahead of Poplog 9th and Dazza Snipes there in P10. Big shout out to Dazza as well. Poker in the comments. Poker Ace saying Poker Ace. That sounds like definitely sounds like a sort of like a PI staker type of thing. High grade in 11th place with Raki 12th, then Salty Joe in 13th place, Dakuno 14th, followed by LRT Rooster in 15th place, Druda Great all up 16th for this one ahead of Stones in 17th, Scooter Paul in 18th, followed by Lexi Mate in 19th place, Ruster Rebel 20th, Sharka Zulu in 21st place, and Chicken Wing will round out the order in 22nd place here. I'm absolutely stoked for this one though. First fair race of the season on the PS5 platform for the GT3s. Poker Race, say in the comments how to join such a race. You go to this link. Let me just put you the link in the chat. Right, here is the link. You've got to have Discord as well, Poker Race. That's a requirement. You have to have Discord. If you go to that link there, you'll be able to sign up to any of the championships on PS4 or PS5. You'll get redirected to our partners, Sim League Pro, where that's where we organise all the leagues. That's where we structure everything together. So yeah, definitely check that out and sign up to the leagues. Get yourselves involved in the action. Rompu podium, I'm calling it, says JR. It'd be great to see JR. It'd be fantastic to see him on the podium, especially against drivers like Jazzman and Tynus. It has been no mean feat to get yourself in the top 3 as we come up towards the line. Who do we ride on board with for the start? That's the big question. I think Rompu's going to be the man, I think, to watch the start from. I think that he's got the best seat in the house here, just behind the big 2. Emrosh on his left-hand side. Could he get overtaken, or is he going to attack these front 2 at the start? Let's see what Rompu sees here. Up towards the line we come. The bets are off, guys. It's now on to the race. It's now on to the action here at Imola for the second round of the GT3s on the PS5. God, JR says they let Lightblade in, so well, we'll let him in the PS4, PS5. I don't know, we'll have to wait and see on that one, but here we are anyway. We're racing, and Jazzman this time does get a good start. Tynus tucks in behind him. You've got Emrosh looking down the inside. Rompu trying to look around the outside of Emrosh, but oh no, Crew Keeper's round. Crew Keeper's lost it coming into turn 1. Has anybody else lost it? Lucam has got into 5th place, and Rompu holds on around the outside of Lucam. Saki and Andre has been passed by Saki and Andre's still behind Lucam there. You've got Spuzz just behind them, but let's have a look at the order here. So Jazzman leads ahead of Tynus, ahead of Emrosh, then Rompu in 4th place, ahead of Lucam in 5th, followed by Saki and Andre, Spuzz. Dazza Snipes up into 8th place. Great start from Dazza, as is Raki up into 9th. So those two making headway. So is Salty Joe up into 10th place here in this race. Who's lost out here at the start though? Let's have a look down the order. Poplog down at the back of the field. He's had a disaster, as has Crew Kip. So it looked like it was Poplog and Crew Kip that came together, and DeCruno's also lost a few positions down to 16th place. So that's not going to plan. And Rusta Rebel, they're also one of the big drivers to lose out there. He's down to the back of the pack here, but currently at the back of the front it's Tynus in the house all over Jazzman here, coming through Aqua Minerale for the first time. These two separate by 4/10 to the second. Jazzman this time getting the start that he needed at the beginning of this race. Emrosh there in 3rd place. He's not too far from the back of these. You've got Rompu there sat in 4th place at the moment. Lucam has dropped off at the back of the top 4 a bit. The top 2 starting to break away from Emrosh and Rompu. Rompu will be looking to try and get on with this so he can try and come after the leaders ever so slightly here. JR said it's like watching your child race. I can't watch. JR, you Starkey twat. I get super nervous when any of you lads race. Just want to see you run well. Talking about his team run, DJ C Boys there. Tynus in the house though, all over the back of Jazzman here, coming out of the last corner, out onto the start finish for the first time here at the end of the first lap. Tynus though looking to try and put the pressure on Jazzman as soon as he possibly can. Emrosh has got Rompu now in the slipstream. Rompu's going to get that closing speed here. He's going to be picking up a great tow. Can Rompu make the move here coming down towards turn 1? He's going to definitely look to the inside. Is he going to try and throw a little feint here? Try and distract him in the mirrors a little bit. Nope, he thinks better of that one, and he's a little bit too far back to make that happen. Lucam has got Spuzz a little way behind him. There's Dazza Snipes up into 7th place. Great opening couple of laps to this race for Dazza Snipes. Chicken Wing is up in 12th place. Absolutely great start from Chicken Wing. Look at this, he is flying. Drew the Great dropped off at the top 10 a little bit in 11th place. But the big losers at the beginning of this race were Crew Kip and Rusta Rebel dropping down to the back of the pack. Chicken Wing though has gone from 22nd to 12th place in the space of a lap. He is on fire at the beginning of this race. Tynus is still on the back of Jazzman, 7/10 between those two. Rompu's still trying to find a way through ahead of Emrosh right now. You've got a 3-car battle for 7th place. Dazza Snipes heads it ahead of Raki and High Grade, but riding on forward with High Grade there in P9. He's got Salty Joe. In fact, actually, you know what? Raki, I think, has lost out to High Grade, and now Raki's got to be careful because Salty Joe looking down the inside thinks better of making the move into that left-hander at the top of the hill. But race is heating up here in the second lap of this race. You've got LRT Rooster now trying to make the move. Chicken Wing has got a queue of cars behind him. DeCruno's got ahead of Rooster up into 13th place, and is now looking to try and knock Chicken Wing down as well. Here he is. Chicken Wing looks like he's struggling a little bit in these conditions. He's just tagging the standing water a little bit. DeCruno can't find a way around him there, and Chicken Wing holding firm for the time being. back to the front. Tynus still on the back of Jazzman, but Chicken Wing doing a good job right now. Dacuno looking to the inside into the chicane, and then Chicken Wing's gone deep. Chicken Wing's gone very wide there. He's going to run straight over the grass there, and he manages to hold the position, but Dacuno's not going to be too chuffed with that one, because the Chicken Wing definitely took advantage of the track limits to hold on to that position just there. But on board with Rooster, he's looking on the back of Dacuno now, coming down towards the final corner. And oh no, somebody's off. Somebody's well off. Drew the Great has got onto the grass a little bit, coming down to the hairpin, and he's onto the gravel there. He's run ever so wide. Oh, no. LRT Rooster's lost it as well. Oh, LRT Rooster and Dacuno. Look, they must have come together there, coming to the final hairpin. Yellow flag coming through the final corner, as we see Scooter Paul, Shark Zulu both up through the carnage there. But Pop Log coming through, sacking Andre Stones. And Stones and oh, who's that? Shark Zulu. Stones and Shark Zulu running together here down the start finish straight. Crewkip just behind these. Crewkip has not had the start to the race. Obviously we saw the incident that he had in the first lap, but he's trying to make amends here, trying to make his way back through. Shark Zulu and Stones though having a good little dice here. And oh, Shark Zulu, a terrible run there coming out of the Villeneuve chicane. Here we come down to Tamburello now, and that's going to be Stones through up into 14th place down the inside. Can Shark Zulu come back at him? On board with Shark Zulu, as you can see there. Stones now getting a bit loose, wide onto the gravel a little bit, gets over that curb, and here comes Shark Zulu down the outside in towards the hairpin. Can he make this one stick? Oh, Stones holding it on the inside. Shark Zulu, nothing he can do about that one. Sakin Andre has dropped off the back of Scooter Paul. Scooter Paul having a much better race than he did in qualifying, that's for sure. But Chicken Wing has lost out to both of these two. So Chicken Wing now running down in 13th place, has lost out to Scooter Paul and Sakin Andre. But Chicken Wing's still doing a good job at the moment, still running in a solid position here in this race. Tynus has dropped off at the back of Jazzman a bit, a second now separating those two. Jazzman seems to have the pace at this stage in the race. High Grade's pretty close on the back of Raki. You can see Raki still within a second of Dazza, but Dazza Snipes, got to say, at this point in the race has done a superb job up into 7th place. Started in P13, oh no, he didn't, sorry, he started in P10 because he went P10 right at the end of the qualifying session. My bad, my apologies there, Dazza. But yeah, this one looking pretty tight between Raki and High Grade. Second back to Salty Joe there, running in 10th place, keeping an eye on the top of the order. We can see Rompu's got ahead of M-Rush up into 3rd place. So JR was onto a bit of a winner there when he said that Rompu could be in for a podium shot. He's currently got himself into that 3rd place at the moment. Gap now 1.3 between Jazzman and Tynus in the house. High Grade still on the back of Raki, coming down towards turn 1. Nothing doing there between those two. Sakin Andre's got a great run here on Scooter Paul though. Is he going to make this move coming down towards turn 1? He's going to pick up that toe. Is he going to look to the inside or the outside? Looks like Scooter Paul's leaving the door open. He's making a sort of a half-assed defensive move to the inside, and Sakin Andre just can't sneak it up the inside. Oh, bit loose onto the curve there. Just tagged the speed bump ever so slightly, and lost out a little bit of time there. He's just about a second there to Scooter Paul. So it could have been a bit worse, but yeah, that's gone a little bit badly there for Sakin Andre, but he's still got it together. Pop Log has been passed by Crewkip, so Crewkip's made up another position there up into 13th place. Nicely done there from Crewkip. Don't know where to look right now. It is action everywhere you look at this point. Pop Log currently looking on Crewkip here, coming into the hairpin. You got Stones there in the background. Shark Zulu a little way off at the back of Stones right now, and here we go. We've got Lexi Mate looking to the outside of Shark Zulu, in towards the hairpin they come. Shark Zulu defending that inside line, not allowing any gaps to form. Can Lexi Mate? Oh no, who's that? Who's lost it? Did somebody lose it? I'm sure. Yeah. Oh no, Scooter Paul's lost it. Scooter Paul's got big damage there on the exit of the hairpin. He's brought it into the pits, so he's going to get that damage repaired by the looks of it. But what a shame there for Scooter Paul, and he's going to be a little while getting that sorted out, I would imagine. Tynus still on the back of Jazzman, but what a shame there for Scooter Paul, as he brought it straight into the pits. So he'll be a lap down on everybody else, as he's skipped out half a lap essentially. So he'll have to go back to where he last crossed the line. Oh, what a shame there for Scooter Paul. In the meantime, Dazza and Raki still going at it. High Grade watching this unfold, hoping that he might be able to get involved in this if these two trip over each other. Right now, Jazzman has got a second of a gap here to Tynus. Tynus running ever so wide there out of Villeneuve chicane. But High Grade looking to try and pounce here on Raki and Dazza, who are going to be fighting each other here. Raki looking pretty quick down this straight. The Lexus we know has got good straight line speed. The Bentley, no slouch, but here we go. Raki commits it down the inside. Does he get it stopped in time? No, he doesn't. He's gone deep. He's gone very deep. And High Grade surely going to pick him off as well. There is Raki rejoining the track, and yes, he does lose out to a High Grade. And does Salty Joe? No, Salty Joe's nowhere to be seen. He's had a moment. He's dropped back. He's now 10 seconds off of these guys. Crewkip now sizing up Pop Log, looking to try and gain another position here. In fact, actually, I think he's lost out to him. because I think you've got ahead of him briefly, so I don't know actually. Maybe not, but High Grade is looking to the outside of Dazza Snipes. It coming into the hairpin, has to go around the long way. Dazza there very cleverly just defending that inside line, keeping it parked and not allowing any gaps to form there. Good driving there from Dazza Snipes. High Grade has to think better and just go again and just rethink what he's doing here. But Tynus in the meantime still on the back of Jazzman. These two battling it out over the lead as they did last time out at Silverstone. There's nothing to separate them. They're so evenly matched, and in the wet conditions it has proved to not be any mitigating factor in terms of the level playing field between these two, in terms of just their raw pace. It's so even between them. They're 5 seconds clear of Rompu. They're absolutely demolishing everybody else at this point. Rompu has not shaken off Emrosh by any stretch of the imagination. Emrosh is still right there, still within half a second of him. High Grade is on the back of Dazza Snipes here. You see half a second separating those two. Sakin Andre is currently on the back of Salty Joe. Salty Joe still holding on for that final top 10 spot at this point. Crew Kip here really close on the back of Poplog right now. 7/10 go the second, currently separating those two. LRT Rooster within half a second of Ruster Rebel at this point. We lost a couple of drivers from this race. Not sure who at this point. I think Chicken Wing's one of them. Chicken Wing is out of the race. I'm not sure who else is retired. Hopefully we'll get some idea of who it was over the next sort of few minutes, or at least over the course of this race. But we're only 10 minutes into this race and already we've seen a lot of action going on. A couple of thrills and spills, a couple of incidents. It's Scooter Paul is the other driver. So Scooter Paul and Chicken Wing both out of this race in the early stages. What a shame for those two. Both support us very much here on the Motive Racing channel and in the Discord, both pretty vocal in the chat sections. What a shame to lose both of them so early on in this race. But Emrosh still on the back of Rompu here. Half a second currently separating these two in a battle for the final podium spot. Now Rompu's still a bit deep there coming through out Commentators. Didn't get it overly wrong, but certainly would have wanted to be a bit more tighter to the apex than he was. But he's not really showing too many signs of weakness to Emrosh at this point. High Grade still on the back of Dazza Snipes, 4/10 of a second currently between those two. Saki and Andre is still pretty close on the back of Salty Joe right now. Pardon me. But yeah, he's just probing at the moment, isn't he? Just looking for a way through as he goes a little bit deep there, coming through Akamirale. And that's given Salty Joe just a moment to regroup, so a bit of a cushion now for Salty Joe. And he's currently running in that P10 position. He's got a bit of a gap now. Back to Sakin Andre with that mistake there from Sakin. Lexi mates on the back of Dacuno. These two batting out of 15th place. Did Dacuno just make that move? And I think he did. Dacuno's now starting to pull out a little bit from Lexi mate in that battle for 15. Gap at the front, just over a second between Jazzman and Tynus in the house. The gap between Dazza and High Grade currently 4/10. So nothing at all separating these two. We're fighting it out over 7th and 8th places at this point. Sakin Andre, as after dropping off the back of Salty Joe, has started to really win a little bit again, but not majorly making inroads at this point. Crew Kip still on the back of Poplog, still can't make anything happen. Lexi mate hasn't been dropped by Dacuno, he's still pretty much there with him at this point. Emrosh though looking to try and get himself back on the podium if he can, but Rompu doing a good solid job at this stage in the race. There's a little bit wide there from Emrosh coming up the hill. Gap under a second between Tynus and Jazzman. And what's happened to Jazzman? Oh no, Jazzman has made a mistake! And that, from my limited knowledge and experience with Jazzman, watching him on this game, that to me strikes me as a rare mistake there from Jazzman. Based on what we saw last week at Silverstone, the way he was so patient and so cool and so calm for the whole race and didn't get overly zealous and overexcited. Jazzman appears to me to be a driver who conducts himself very, very calmly and doesn't make many mistakes, but that one was a mistake and he's lost out, and now Tynus leads this race. JR probably know more than me on this particular topic, but Jazzman does not strike me as a driver who slips up very often. But Tynus now leads this race and it's got a little bit of a gap here to Jazzman. I'd say it's about 4-5 seconds between the two of them. Yeah, 4 seconds separate the top two right now, and that's bringing Rompu into this battle a little bit, only 2.5 seconds behind. I don't think Jazzman has any damage. I think he only lost a bit of time just having a spin out of the last corner. I don't think he touched the wall, so he should be okay. Tyres might be a little bit here, there and everywhere, but they should be able to pick up some some reasonable grip soon, seeing as they're the wet tyres, so it's not going to be as much of a disaster as if it was a dry track, seeing as the surface would be a lot more tougher on the tyres in that scenario. But Jazzman's still running in P2 at the moment. He's just putting a lap there on one of the back markers. As we can see, Shaka Zulu's on the gravel. Shaka Zulu's had a mistake. That's a yellow flag there, as the leaders are just putting a lap there on Drew the Great. So Drew the Great there running in what's now P19 in this race, and Shaka Zulu's retired the car. Shaka Zulu wants no further part in this. He's had enough here tonight. A lot of drivers falling by the wayside here in these tricky wet conditions, and we're down to 19 cars. We started with 22, we're down to 19 here, so a lot of people struggling in the slippery wet conditions here. But Tynus still leads the way by 4 seconds at the moment ahead of Jazzman. 7 of you currently watching on the stream, guys, hit the like button if you enjoy it. If you want to get involved, go to www.motiveracing.com. Gap now between Rompu and Emrosh up at 2 seconds. Sakin Andre's still pretty close on the back of Dazza, and he's got ahead of him in fact. So Raki's in 7th place now. Dazza, I think Dazza must have made a mistake, because Raki's now in 7th place and Sakin Andre and Dazza dropping, well, Sakin Andre's a couple of seconds ahead of Dazza, but Dazza Snipes definitely has made a mistake somewhere out there. Raki Majay now running in 7th place in this race. That's brilliant to see. I love Raki, one of our more sociable people on the Discord server. As I said before, he's our F1 League coordinator for the Friday night Formula 1 League on the Codemasters Formula 1 game, and he's not running too far for Spurs either. He's only about, I'd say 9 seconds off from the top 5 spot. He seems to be growing in confidence as well at the moment as Raki. He seems to be picking up the pace as this one goes on. I know that JR and Microwave will be absolutely chuffed to bits to see Raki in this position where he's, closing in on them. So yeah, I mean, it's good. Raki's having a good race so far, that's got to be said. Emrosh within 10 seconds of the race leader Tynus. Rompu is 3 seconds off of Jazzman, but since Jazzman's spin, he's picked up the pace again, and he's started to gap Rompu a little bit. Gap between Poplog and Crewkip still barely anything, 4/10 trim. Oh, and Daz has made another mistake. Daz Snipes has had an incident, because he's now behind, he's dropped behind Salty Joe, Poplog and Crewkip. So Dazza down to P12 here. Is it our mistakes just starting to creep in for Dazza? Is he starting to drop the ball a little bit? He just needs to get himself together. Oh no! Somebody's lost it in front of them. That's Sakin Andre. Sakin Andre's onto the track, and he's getting it back on now safely onto the track once again. But he's got now high grade all over the. No, sorry. No, sorry. He's got snow. Hold on. I don't know. Who is that? Well, Daz has got high grade on the back of him right now. Those two currently battling over 11th place. But Sakin Andre's come out in no man's land basically there. So yeah, he's currently running in 13th place. High grade though, looking down the inside of Dazza Snipes. Dazza leaves the door open. High grade not close enough, not able to send one there. Thinks better of chancing it. As we can see, Dazza just wiggling a little bit there coming through the Aqua Mineral. It seems like he's just not very confident at this point, and you can understand why, because he's made a few mistakes over the last couple of laps. He's dropped from 7th down to 11th place. He just needs to get himself together. He probably needs the pit window to come soon, as Daz has gone wide there. He's gone deep coming into the chicane. That's going to allow High Grade off a position, so High Grade picks him off onto 11th place. Dazza needs the pit window to come soon, because he needs to get himself in the box. He needs to just take a deep breath, calm himself down. But at the moment, he's getting himself into a bit of a rut. He just needs to take a deep breath and just get it together again. But right now, running in P12, so it's not all doom and gloom. That'd be some very good points for P12, I've got to say. As we've got Crewkip here looking all over the back of Poplog here. These guys up into 8th and 9th places. And what's happened to High Grade? High Grade's now dropping down. Or has he? No, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure he has. Yeah, because Crewkip, High Grade, sorry, was up there before, so he's now behind Crewkip and Salty Joe. So drivers are dropping it left, right and centre at the moment. The track seems to be getting more slippy. You can see in the top right hand corner it says that the track's wet, as you can probably guess. But it's not flooded or anything. There's no, I wouldn't say there's too many puddles. There's certainly standing water, but it's a consistent level of water, so there's not really too much catching you out at this point. It's not really, the water's not really congregating in certain parts of the track. It's kind of just a little bit predictable at this point. Whether that's going to change over the course of the race, we'll have to see. As the rain continues to fall and as the water starts to build up in certain areas of the track, that we may see a different story. But yeah, this stage in the race seems like it's manageable. And Sakin Andres just got ahead of Daza. Sakin Andres up into 12th place. He must have made that move coming up the hill towards that left-hander just before this part of the track. So Sakin Andres in P12 there. You've got DeCrudo on the back of Lexi, but DeCrudo's had a bit of a hit and miss race so far, hasn't he? It's not been, I'm sure, to plan at all. Starting to reel in Lexi a little bit here though. 19 cars out on the track here for this race. We've lost a couple along the way, unfortunately. Sharka, Zulu, Chicken Wing and Scooter Paul all retired very early on in this race. Struggling in these conditions for whatever reason. The wet conditions not favouring any of those guys. Crew Kip has managed to get ahead of Poplog finally, I think. Oh no, has he? No, he's not. They're side by side. Oh, they're side by side here. I just looked at his onboard there and saw there was nobody in front of him and thought he had. Oh, what's happened here? Somebody's lost it. Somebody's had a moment, I think. Or was it somebody coming out of the pits? Was it somebody coming out of the pits? I think it was somebody coming out of the pits. But Crew Kip has done Poplog there up into 8th place. So he completed that move coming into turn 1. Crew Kip now up into P8. Nicely done. DeCruno still on the back of Lexi Mate here. 4 tenths between these two coming down the start-finish straight. Is DeCruno going to be close enough into turn 1? Nope, doesn't look like it at the moment. But Crew Kip now into 8th and is going to try and chase after Raki up ahead in P7, I'm sure of that. Raki's dropping off of Spuz, so Spuz is quicker than Raki, but Spuz is reeling in Lucan. These two running in 5th and 6th place. It's only 3 seconds separate them. They're a little way off of Emrosh running in 4th. Emrosh in turn is a long way behind Rompu, but Rompu is keeping tabs with Tynus and Jazzman. I don't want to say that he's in the fight for the win, because I think realistically he isn't, but he is in a position where he's not too far away. You know, I'm sure that if there's something were to go off in front of him, Rompu's going to be there. You know, the last thing, if Jazzman was to catch up to Tynus, the last thing that those two need is to have an incident, because Rompu will win this race. If those two crash into each other, Rompu will take the win. You know, that's for sure. But right now, Tynus leads the race by 3.5 seconds. Jazzman slightly quicker than Tynus over the last few laps. He's been bringing the gap down, slowly chipping away at that gap. It was 4 seconds after Jazzman's mistake. It's now down to 3.4. So he's been gaining about a tenth or so a lap. You know, some laps Tynus is quicker, some laps Jazzman is quicker, but as a general trend, Jazzman is slightly quicker than Tynus at this point in the race. But we all know it only takes a small mistake for those little tenths of a second per lap to be all undone. But both of these two lapping very consistently at the moment. Lightblade in the comments saying we're all humans, and in these conditions it just takes one flex of that big toe to make a mistake. Indeed, yeah, it is literally just that. It always takes is just a bit over exuberance and excitement, and unfortunately it's see you later the rear of the car. Ryan saying in the comments, come on Rompu currently doing a great job. Ryan, he's sat in 3rd place at the moment. We've had Lightblade and JR in the comments vocally supporting their man, and yeah, he's currently running in that final podium spot at the moment. He's got 10 seconds back to Emrosh, so he's more than comfortable in that podium spot. The reason why he is as close to Jazzman as he is because Jazzman did make a little mistake a few laps ago. Jazzman was leading the race ahead of Tynus, not by much. It was about a second or two between them, and then Jazzman dropped it. Tynus took the lead, and Rompu was within about 2 or 3 seconds of Jazzman for a short time, but then over the last couple of laps, Jazzman has started to put out that gap. But Rompu driving really well. You know, I say like he's been losing time to Jazzman, but Tynus and Jazzman are absolute aliens. I mean, they are so quick. They are such talented drivers. And Rompu's doing a great job of keeping them in sight, riding on board with Rompu. If you ride on board with Rompu down the start-finish straight, he's got them in his sights. You know, he can see where they are. He can see what they're doing. So it's been a really, really good drive from Rompu. I'm impressed with him. No end so far tonight. He's done superbly. Poplog's still running in 9th place. He's within a second of Crew Kip at this point. You've got Lexi there running in 15th place, still on the back of Stones. These two fighting out over 14th place, and coming down the hill. They're just they're not too far behind Dazza, so Dazza might have made another mistake here, because he's now falling back into the clutch to these two a little bit. He wants to be careful here, because he's got Stones and Lexi now breathing down his neck, and also DeCruno coming with these as well. Takuno will be wanting to get himself up the order a little bit. He'll be frustrated down in P16, not where he's used to being, and we know that. Takuno, as we said before, former champion of the GT3 division on the PS4 here at Motive. Doesn't matter if it's the PS4, PS5, it's the same concept really, isn't it? But he was the champion season 4, I think it was, on the PS4. So yeah, he knows what it takes for sure. I believe he was the runner-up as well in season 5 to Jonathan Reed. So you know, he's got consistency as well. He's a proven performer throughout the seasons. Ryan Racing says, I joined the stream during the interval of Alan Carr. Oh, but Ryan, you know what you could do for us, mate? If you could like ask Alan Carr to plug us, that would be. I'm joking. Hope you're enjoying the show, mate, and it's great that you joined us in an interval. Shout out Motive Racing, get everybody to watch us. No, I'm joking. They're probably not sim racing. I mean, there might be sim racing fans there. Who knows? But no, I hope you're enjoying the show. Good to see you in the comments, Ryan. Shame you couldn't be with us for the PS4 GT3s tonight. Obviously, Ryan would usually be with us on a Sunday night for the GT3s on the PS4 earlier on tonight, but wasn't able to be with us for that one. We saw an exciting race in the GT3 PS4s earlier on. Yeah, we saw. Yeah, was pretty exciting. An exciting battle for the lead that we saw in that one. And yeah, it was a bit of a shame that one of the drivers decided to put his foot down when we decided we were going to do 2 formation laps. First of which was the automatic one. Second was the oh no, we can see Stones wide, and that has allowed Leximate up into 13th place. Can Decluno get through? They're going to be side by side on the exit of the corner. Here they come down the start finish straight, and I think this might be the position here for Decluno. Although having said that, Leximate now getting ahead of steam with a bit of the Lexi even. Lexi in the Bentley Stones even slightly quicker than Decluno. Sorry, I'm getting my words mixed up tonight. I know what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying the right words. Very tired at the moment, guys. I do apologise. But Stones there in the Ferrari. Imagine just hold on ahead of Decluno's Ferrari. Those two pretty evenly matched down the straights, as you would imagine. Dazza Snipes coming into the pit straight away. As soon as the pit window opens, he is straight in. So he wants to get it done and out of the way. He wants to get his head back in the game. He wants to get himself back together and try and have a charge at it in the last part of the race. But he's just overshot his pit box there. That wouldn't have been what he needed at all. Chris Pissick in the comments saying, come on, Rompu. Good to see Chris in the comments. Used to race with us here at Motive way back in the day, back when we had PS4 and 5 crossplay, which actually, thinking about it, wasn't too long ago. But Chris Pissick has been with us since the beginning of Motive. He raced with us on Project Cars 2 in the GTEs way back in the day on a Monday night, and then he moved over to ACC when we moved over to ACC pretty much, and raced in the GT3s, and he was the Porsche Supercup champion. How could I forget Chris, former champion of the Porsche Supercup here at Motive when we had it on a Monday night? How did I forget that? I'm so sorry, Chris. Yeah, Chris was the champion of the Porsche Supercup. He took the inaugural Porsche Supercup. We had about 3 seasons to think of it before he got scrapped. Chris was one of them. Will Friedman was another one. And there was there another? I can't remember if there was another season of it. Do you know what? I think we did 3 seasons of it, and I think Will Friedman won 2 and Chris Pissick won 1 of them. But don't hold me to that, because that could be because we did we did at least 2 seasons before the only G left, and to create the sim zone. I'm sure we had 2 seasons. I can't remember if it was 1 or 2 seasons that we had before the only G left and went to make the sim zone. All I remember is that Chris won at least 1 Porsche Supercup title. But yeah, long time ago now. Memories fading, especially when I'm absolutely shattered and I've had no sleep. But nonetheless, Jazzman in the pits anyway, so he's getting that, getting the car primed for the second stint. Tyler staying out for the time being. The whole DJC team in here supporting our boy Rompu, currently running in a net podium position is Rompu, I think. Yep, second place at the moment. That'll be third, obviously, once he comes into the pits with Jazzman in a net second place, but nonetheless, he's doing a fantastic job here tonight. is Rompu, and looking set for that P3, which he's really had to work hard for tonight with the likes of Tynus and Jazzman out the front. It's no mean feat to come third to those two for sure. You know, Rompu could be very proud with the way he's driven so far. He needs to keep it together. A long way to go. We're not even half distance yet. As Raki comes into the pits at the end of lap 15 for him. Emrosh within a couple of seconds of Rompu, so Rompu by no means out of the win. And in fact, I'm pretty sure Rompu must have made a small mistake here, because the gap was a lot bigger than that. So Emrosh has really reeled that gap down a little bit over the last couple of laps. So I think that, yeah, I think he might have made a mistake. So Rompu just needs to keep it together. You know, he's in a good position still. Hopefully he hasn't got damage. Pit window's open, so I'm sure he'd have been in if he got damage. So yeah, he just needs to keep it cool, keep it calm. He's got the pace, he's got the talent. But Emrosh is going to give him a fight for this final podium spot. I think we can be sure of that. I'll tell you what though, Emrosh will be the most unpopular man in the Team Run DJC Discord server if he is to deny Rompu of a podium spot, that's for sure. Tynus coming through the pits, I think he's already been in his box, or is he coming up to his box? I think actually he's coming into his box now, yeah, so Tynus into the box, Rompu also coming in at the end of this lap. Does Emrosh come in? Yes he does. Top three all in. Salty Joe half a lap behind these coming through Akmamunarade at the moment. You've got Jazzman currently just coming up the hill. He's just behind Salty Joe, but Jazzman has already been into the pits. Could be a net P2 Jazzman. Who knows, if he gets if Tynus gets held in the pits, he might even be a net leader. As we see Rompu putting into the box there. Tynus still in his box. Off the Jackson, off on the way he goes. So Tynus there. A good pit stop for him. Where's Jazzman? That's the question. Jazzman is still stuck behind Salty Joe. Tynus is moving, but he's got a little way to go until he gets off the limiter. Jazzman just coming through the final corner now. Tynus has got about 5 seconds until he's off the limiter. And Jazzman is just coming down the start-finish straight at full speed. So, Tynus is just off the limiter now at the end of the pit straight. Where's Jazzman? Jazzman is going to be about, I think it's going to be about maybe 4 or 5 seconds between them. Tynus into turn one there. There's Jazzman just coming into turn one. So yeah, about 5 seconds separating them. So Tynus definitely has had the upper hand over this pit window. Maintains the net lead of the race. Rompu coming out. Is he going to hold on ahead of... oh, he's way ahead of... oh no! Oh no, 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 no! Oh no! Rompu, 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 Rompu! He's got a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh no, the chat is going to be absolutely devastated with that one. The Run TJC boys are going to be cursing that one. Rompu in a position where he could have taken a podium spot, and he's blown it. Oh no. Lightbait says, I say Rompu for the win, never over till it's over. Well, yeah, I think hey, I mean, the writing has been certainly written on the wall there. Everybody seems to be falling foul of this pit entry or the pit exit. I'm not sure which one it is, but everybody seems to be struggling with this one. We've got stop-go penalties getting racked up left, right and centre. Lucam, Salty Joe, Poplog, LRT, Rooster, all of these drivers are getting penalties, stop-go penalties, so clearly the pit lane catching a lot of drivers out here. JR says, fuck, in the comments. Lightblade says, no! Chris, I did the same here 2 weeks ago. Easily done by the looks of it, Chris. I wouldn't know myself. I haven't driven this track on this game, but looking definitely like it's a bit of a booby trap here. So what a shame there. But well then, that gives Emrosh a chance of a podium spot here, and he's pretty much just going to bring it home, and he'll be on the podium here. So Emrosh has been handed one on a plate here. He's been given one for free there. And Rompu, is he going to come in? No, he's staying out for now, but he needs to come in within 3 laps. So many SG30s keep pushing Rompu. Absolutely, it's not over yet, Rompu, for sure. There are a lot of drivers with penalties out there, but well, I tell you what, he's going to be kicking himself. He is going to be absolutely fuming with that one. And you've got to feel for Rompu here, because bit of a wet weather maestro is Rompu. We saw last season he took his first win in ages, back when we were still on crossplay. We obviously had the we had the race at Misano, the last race of the season in the wet. Rompu dominated that one. He absolutely ran off into the sunset with it. But yeah, tonight pushing a bit too hard, maybe, knowing that you got drivers of the caliber of Tynus and Jazzman who are just ridiculously quick, and I think he's just trying a bit too hard and ended up overstepping the mark in the pit lane, which is a massive shame there. We've got 8 people currently watching the stream. Guys, if you like what you see, please drop a like on the video. It really does help us out an enormous amount. Rompu just needs to keep his head down and keep going, says Lightblade. That's the thing, he just needs to come in, get that stop go done, and just push as hard as he can and see where he can get to in this race. It's not over yet. Still plenty of opportunities here in this one. But High Grade on his way through the pits at the moment, coming in to make that what is his mandatory pit stop at the last time of asking. Salty Joe Stones, LRT Rooster all coming in to serve that stop go penalty, as is Rompu at this point. High Grade coming in to make that scheduled pit stop. Gap at the front between Tynus and Jazzman, 5 seconds. And Spaz is also closing in on Raki a bit, only just under 2 seconds now separating those two. Lucam has come out in P12, so did he have a stop go as well? He must have done. Yeah, he had a stop go penalty as well. So I'll tell you what, they're getting handed out left, right and centre. Lucam on the back of Lexi right now. These two battling it out over 11th spot here. And the gap now under 5 seconds between Tynus and Jazzman. So Jazzman's definitely bringing that gap down at this point. But Raki and Spaz still separated by just under 2 seconds at this point. Lucam now within a second of Lexi. He's going to be putting that pressure on, I reckon, coming through this final sector. Lucam will probably get this one done sooner rather than later. We've got Poplog currently within a second and a half of Dazzle Snipes here, battling out over 40th place here in this race. Stop go penalty has been cleared there for number 31. That is Rompu. Question is though, where has he come out on the track? Actually, you know what? I wouldn't. I don't know. No, it's not where I want to be for sure. 8th place at the moment for Rompu. So he's what? Let's have a look at the timing board. He's about 15 seconds off of, no, a bit less than that. 15 seconds off of P5 at the moment. So top 5 certainly not out of the question. In fact, no, actually, hold on. No, he's 15 seconds off of a P4. Sorry, my bad. So Rompu's still on for some very good points here. He needs to keep pushing. I think Rompu may come out just behind Raki. Yeah, you called it. He came out just behind Spaz, who is just behind Raki. And Rompu is about just under 10 seconds behind Raki at this point, running in P6. Yeah, it's not all doom and gloom for Rompu. He can certainly come back from this. Lexi just over a second off of Lucam at the moment. These two running pretty close for 11th place in this race. Gap between Crewkip and High Grade 2 seconds at this point. Tynus currently got 4 seconds, just under 4 seconds to Jazzman running in 2nd place. Lucam's gap to Lexi by nearly a second and a half already since making that move. And the gap between Raki and Spaz seems to be coming down a little bit now. I reckon that's under 1.8. It says 1.8 on the timing screens. I reckon that's about 1.3. It's 1.2. So yeah, Spaz definitely gained a little bit on Raki coming through that part of the track. And Lucam's well and truly gapped Lexi now. He's absolutely driven off there. Let's not forget about track limit warnings. That might come into play at some point for sure. if drivers keep overstepping their track limit warnings, then you never know what might happen with them. Obviously they would have had their warnings flashing up on the screen saying, look, right, you've had your fun, but you know, let's not push our luck, let's not take advantage, because if you continue to overstep these track limit warnings, I tell you what, at some point your luck's going to run out, and you know you're going to get done for it. So ultimately, it's one of those things. You know, you need to not push your luck. You need to kind of know when enough is enough, and obviously when the fun stops, you really must stop. So hopefully these drivers who are on track limit warnings heed those warnings and start playing by the rules. But Tyner's currently leading this race by 3.4 ahead of Jazzman. Spaz now within a second of Raki, so these two looking pretty close at the moment. As De Cruno running 4 seconds up the road, but Lucam's bringing that gap down at the moment, but De Cruno has just creeped his way up the order a little bit. Ever so slyly. Still 17 cars going. We started with 22, we've lost 5 along the way in tricky conditions, but hats off to the 17 drivers still in this race. As you see, High Grade on the back of Crew Kip here. These two fighting now over 4th place. High Grade's driven a decent comeback race here in this one, to be fair. Let's just creep back into this race ever so slightly. He's currently now trying to get himself into P4 if he can. These two have got 6 seconds back to Raki, who in turn's got Spaz pretty close on him now. Although that gap's not really come down anymore over the last lap or so. That's kind of just stayed at around just over a second between those two. Oh, it's High Grade loose there coming out of that Minerale. That's lost him a bit of time there. That's given Crew Kip a bit of a moment to regroup. That's letting him off the hook ever so slightly there. Spaz still on the back of Raki here, just under a second between them now. Spaz looking to try and get this done pretty soon, I would imagine. But Raki more than holding his own at this stage. Gap at the front between Tynes and Jazzman staying at around 3 seconds, just over 3 seconds between them, as Jazzman's just trying to put a lap here on Stones. Tyler's currently a leader. You can see in the distance there on this bonnet cam of Jazzman, you can see the race leader Tyler is just going down the hill there. You see just going out of the shot, and then there you go, back into the shot again, coming through the hairpin. So it's not much separating the top two. It wouldn't take much of a mistake from Tynes to give Jazzman this lead. Jazzman led the early stages, but obviously made a little mistake which handed the initiative to Tynes. But since the mistake for Jazzman, Tynes has just led every lap and hasn't made any mistakes, hasn't shown any signs of making any more mistakes or anything. It looks like he's very much keeping it clean and doing things the right way, and that's obviously great to see. And good on him. Hopefully he keeps it up. If he doesn't, then there'll be hell to pay. But at the moment he's doing a good job here out the front, and he's looking, at the moment like he's going to see this out for a win. But never say never. If he makes a mistake, or if Jazzman starts putting in some absolute corkers on the timing charts, then we could be seeing a shake-up in this race, in this battle for the race win. Riding with Spaz at the moment, still on the back of Raki here, 7/10 of a second between these two coming into the chicane. 9 if you're currently watching on stream. Guys, this is amazing to have so many of you currently watching. If you do like what you're seeing, please do drop a like on the video, subscribe to the Motive Racing channel. If you want to get involved, go to www.motiveracing.com. If you're watching for the first time, check us out here, join a Discord server, and you can sign up to our leagues through our partners, simleaguepro.com. Definitely check that out. see the Cuno still running just ahead of Lucam right now. Not much at all separating these two. In fact, Lucam's got a run here. He must have gained a lot coming to that middle sector because it was 1.2 at the previous checkpoint. Down to the hairpin they come. Lucam still hunting, but the Cuno not making mistakes here. He's being very solid at the moment, is the Cuno. He's hitting all the apexes. He's not running deep. He's just being calm and measured about how he's going about this and defending this one very nicely. Spar's still in the back of Raki, still can't find a way through. Raki is solid as a rock at the moment in P6 and not giving Spars anything to go on here. Lucam still hassling the back of the Cuno for the final top 10 spot. Is he going to get the run? De Cuno a little bit hesitant there coming out of the Villeneuve chicane. Is Lucam going to send one up the inside in towards Tamburello? Thinks better on that one. Once again, De Cuno late on the brakes, and Lucam might be able to get a good run coming out of here. Can he go slow and fast out on De Cuno? No. De Cuno had enough of an exit there, got enough on the power to hold on to 10th place for now. Spars within 3/10 of Raki. This is as close as it's been. But it looks like Raki's pulled out a bit since the previous checkpoint here. Down the hill they come to the hairpin. 15 minutes left in this race. We're coming towards the business end of this race, second round of the season for the GT3s here on the PlayStation 5 at Motive. Lucam really hassling the back of the Cuno at the moment. Spars has got the slipstream here coming down the start-finish straight. He's going to get that closing speed, but Raki's got the straight line speed over him. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. The Lexus is leaving the BMW for dead down the straights. These two have got Rompu only 4 seconds behind him, so I reckon Rompu will be pulling up onto the back of them pretty shortly if he keeps up the pace that he's doing at the moment. 2 temps currently separating De Cuno and Lucam. So here we go then, Lucam's now got the slipstream here. He's going to look to try and make the move on De Cuno. Look at this closing speed. The speed of that Porsche is absolutely rocket ship compared to the Ferrari. Here he goes, pulling to the outside. De Cuno defends that inside line. And Lucam onto the grass. Oh no! Oh no! Lucam's just done a George Russell. He's well and truly done a George Russell there. He's hit the grass. He's lost it coming into the corner. And De Cuno there is going to continue on his way. And so he should, because he did nothing wrong there. And what a shame for Lucam. He just completely lost control of the back end coming into the first corner, and he's going to pretty much, that's going to be his hopes of getting in P10 done for at least a few more laps. Whether or not he needs De Cuno to make a mistake now, or if he's just going to drop off, we'll have to wait and see. But oh no, that is a massive shame there. And Lucam has now got work to do if he wants to get himself back up into P10 here. He's finds himself a long way adrift here in this battle. Raki and Spars still tied at the hip, and I think Spars is closer than he's been at any point here. He's definitely going to be picking up a toe. Whether or not the toe is going to be enough to override the straight line speed advantage that Raki's got in the Lexus, I don't think it is going to be enough, because you can see that the Lexus is pulling away from the BMW. Despite the BMW having the slipstream, he's still pulling away from him. And yeah, Raki looks to be pretty comfortable at this point in that position. I want to say a big warm welcome to the 7 people currently watching us right now live here on the Motive Racing YouTube channel. If you guys like what you see, please drop a like. It really does help us out an enormous amount. Can we get this video to 15 likes before we get off air? That would be absolutely awesome. Maybe we can get it to 20 likes once we're off of air, but 15 likes on air, can we do it? Come on guys. If you've got any friends, sim racing buddies who are watching this, any family members who enjoy motorsport in general, get them over here. Get them to drop a like on the video. All of you die-hard Motive Racing fans who tune in every week, who tune in every stream, namely JR and Lightblade, you guys definitely should get a season pass here, if that was ever a thing. No, we really appreciate you guys' support, and you keep me company during the stream. Your comments give me something to talk about. You know, if you give me something, you say something in the stream, it allows me to kind of like just branch off of whatever you're saying and just turn it into something else and then something else. Spuzzo a little bit loose coming out of the chicane. Rompu's going to look down the inside in towards the hairpin. Spuzzo dropping off of Raki a bit, and Rompu down the inside up into 7th place. So Rompu there sneaking through while we were waxing lyrical about our supporters and our fans and our motive racing legends here in the comments. 13 likes on the stream. Absolutely awesome, guys. Loving it, loving it, loving it. Gap right up front between Tynus and Jazzman, 4 seconds at the moment. Spuzz though looking to try and come back at Rompu, but Rompu's going to have his sights firmly set on Raki up ahead of him. The BMW not the quickest in a straight line, that is for sure. Oh, it's Spuzz there a little bit loose. Gets a little bit heavy onto the loud pedal, gets away with it, manages to correct the oversteer there. But that was a close call for sure. But yeah, living dangerously there for sure from Spuzz. Keeping on to P7 for now. Rompu now really close on the back of Raki though. Looking for any possible opening or opportunity. Trying to pressure Raki into a mistake. I said earlier on, after his stop go penalty, I said Rompu's target in this race has got to be P5. P4 wasn't completely out of the question. I think it might be now. He's got to get out of Raki first, but he's only about 8 seconds behind high grade. I reckon that is doable. 12 seconds to crew kit, that might be a stretch. But I certainly wouldn't put it past Rompu. Best commentator on planet Earth in my opinion, like they says. Thank you very much. I think I don't think I'm anything on Crofty, but I could certainly fill a seat. I could. I'm no David Croft, but I do love commentating. To be fair, I enjoy covering these streams. I think most of it is down to the fact that it's just because it's my league and because, you know, I run it obviously alongside Freeman. You know, we're pretty much the main men for the ACC leagues here at Motive. It's the passion and enthusiasm of having my own league that makes me, I think, enjoy doing the comms so much. I don't think I'd be the same if it was somebody else's league, if I'm honest. That's just the truth of it. But you know, I enjoy the races and I enjoy the action, and that's ultimately what keeps me going. But Rompu's still looking all over the back of Raki at the moment. These guys are about 8 seconds behind high grade, so the longer that Rompu spends behind Raki, the more he's going to lose time to high grade up ahead, and it's going to potentially hurt his chances of getting into the top 5. Raki goes deep into the hairpin. Rompu's going to surely pick him up the hill. Here we are side by side, the Lexus with incredible straight line speed. The BMW's got the traction though, and he's still got his nose there. Thinks better of going up the inside. He knows he's got 9 minutes left in this race, and it's not like it's not like he needs to be in a rush. Crofty can't hold a candle to you, mate. Your passion shines through and it really shows. Thank you, man. Appreciate that a lot. Hi brothers, how are you? Run DJC Racing guys, says Ratchet. Good luck Rompu, he says. Rompu was in a really good position earlier on, Ratchet. He was in the podium spots, but unfortunately he got a stop-go penalty mid-race. It was just after the. It was actually when he came in before his pit stop. He got done for speeding in the pit lane, but since then he's picked himself up pretty well. He's running in P7 right now, and he's looking to try and get himself into 6th. Oh, as we can see there, high grade getting around Raki there up into, holding on ahead of Raki there for 5th. But Rompu now all over the back of Raki once again. And Raki has been holding on ahead of Rompu for a few laps now. He's been keeping him at bay. Here we go, Rompu looking to the inside. Can he send one here on Raki? I tell you what, he's looking to make those moves. He's looking to try and throw those little surprises. Oh, do we see? Are they being lapped? They are being lapped. That's Tynus and Jazzman making their way through. Oh my god. I didn't expect that one. My goodness. Wow. Well, Jazzman seems to be reading in Tynus a little bit now. Only 2.2 between them. I was not expecting that. I didn't know that they were coming through. Wow. But Rompu's still looking to try and get a move done here on Raki. But Raki's defending this one really well at this point. And high grade has just been allowed to pull away a little bit. And I think maybe Rompu might struggle to reel in high grade. He needs to clear Raki quickly, and he's not doing it as quickly as he would like to be at this point. Come on, Rompu, beam of power, says Lightblade. Indeed, beam of power. I've said before and I'll say it again, I love the BMW GT3 car. I drive the BMW GT3 on Project Cars 2 in a GT3 league, and it's a sim play on a Thursday night. Actually, in the championship battle, I'm leading the championship. Oh no, I'm not actually anymore, sorry. I'm 1 point behind in the championship, going into the final round of the season this Thursday night. So plug to Simplay Motorsport obviously, but if anybody wants to check that out, tune in 8 PM on Simplay Motorsport's channel. We'll be live, well, they will be live, I will be live on the track, they will be live on their stream from 8 PM. We'll be racing at Spa for that one, for the last race of the season. I'm leading the 1 point behind in the championship, 2 unorthodox. Again, I shouldn't really be plugging another league stream, but it's only because one, I have no problem with them, I actually quite like them, and also just the fact that I'm in the championship battle, therefore, I want people to tune in. But yeah, anyway, Rompu's on the back of Raki right now, 3/10 between these two, as they're now coming down towards the Tamburello chicane. But Rompu's struggling to pick him off, and High Grade's pulled out 13 seconds to these two whilst they've been battling it out. Here goes Rompu round the outside of the hairpin. Can he make this one stick? He's going to really look here. But Raki once again running him out of road. Raki is defending this one absolutely textbook here, putting his car in all the right places, and Rompu, try as he might, just cannot work the space. He cannot find the gap. It's been a superb job here from him. Come on, lad, says JR. Get him behind Rompu. He wants to see Rompu get himself a P6 here tonight. It's damage limitation for Rompu. Obviously, he had the stop go penalty earlier on in the race, which has really set him back and dropped him down the order by quite a bit. He's actually making a little feint to the inside here on Raki. Raki's not going to be phased by that though. You're going to need to do more than that to frighten Raki off the road, son. And Spaz really joining this battle once again now. Rompu cleared Spaz relatively easily a few laps ago, but with Rompu being, such is the defensive calibre of Raki, that Rompu's really being held here, and it's allowed Spaz back in. But here we go. I think Rompu might finally have this done if he gets a good exit. Oh no! As Jazzman has just lost it coming out of the last corner, and these two are going to try and unlap themselves. Oh my goodness, this is now congestion here, as we can see Rompu is trying to thread the needle, and Raki in the end just thinks he's just going to back out here a little bit. Rompu's going to get the slipstream here, but now Jazzman gives Raki the slipstream. Rompu down the inside though on the coming to turn one. He manages to complete the move there on Raki. Great move there from Rompu, opportunistic, saw Jazzman in front of him and used that slipstream to his advantage. Jazzman though making a mistake. I think that's dropped him out of the battle for the lead. I think that Tynus just has to bring this one home now. He's got a 10-second gap to Jazzman, so that was Jazzman obviously losing the car in front of them, and those guys must have been ricking it a little bit there as they saw Jazzman rejoining the track. But Jazzman continuing on his way. He'll be, I'm sure, disappointed that he couldn't challenge Tynus at the last part of this race, but nonetheless, 2 P2s this season. Jazzman's had a couple of pole positions as well. Oh no, he wasn't on pole. No, he was on pole this week. He led the opening few laps of the race, and then Tynus got him on the strategy, got ahead of him, actually passed him on the track, but then just outfoxed him really today, did Tynus in the house. Jazzman is going to have to come second best once again here at Motive for the PS5 GT3 League. Here we go, the drama, says Lightblade. Bit of an anticlimax. Oh no, Raki's lost it! No, we've got more drama. Definitely an anticlimax here. Raki's lost the car, and Spaz is now up into 7th place. So Raki with a nightmare there. Where is Sakin Andre? Sakin Andre is going to go around the outside of Raki, and he's going to move himself into 8th place. So Raki losing 2 positions in the space of a few corners there, and he's down to 9th place here in this race. Oh, Raki. He was going to go down on his sword there, wasn't he? He was not going to give that one up, and in the end he loses a couple of positions as a result. Rompu's still running in P6 right now, and he's keeping with Jazzman, so Rompu just showing what pace he's had tonight, and we know that Rompu doesn't get too many opportunities to practice throughout the week, so really has to do most of his running on the Sunday afternoon and evening. So what Rumpu manages to get in before the race is, it just depends on how much time he's been able to dedicate on the Sunday itself. But he seems to be keeping with Jazzman better now than he was earlier in the race, which to me suggests that maybe he had limited practice and possibly he's still learning how to drive this car around this track in the wet. So, you know, when you take those into account, it's been a fantastic drive from Rumpu. It could have been a podium tonight, but I'm sure he's not going to be too disappointed with 6th place. It will still be some very good points there for him. Raki's still on the back of Saki and Andre, these two pretty close for 8th and 9th places. Tynus in the house is going to be starting his final lap. As we just see there, one of the back markers there, losing it right in front of Tynus. That would have been heart in mouth time there for Tynus. That was high grade there, losing it right in front of him. That was the Bentley, the number 876 there, getting out of shape. But Tynus continuing on his way, and he's about to start his final lap of the race with an 11-second lead here over Jazzman at this point. Oh no, Raki's round again! Oh, where's Lucam? Lucam's a long way behind. He's not going to get Raki, but Raki is going from bad to worse. He's having a bit of a capitulation at the end of this race. Thank you for watching. Please guys, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. But Raki there just having a major moment, and unfortunately for him, his race is unravelling. Luckily for him, he's got a big gap back to Lucam, and it's nearly the final lap of the race, so he just has to limp home. He just has to get it round. It's not long to go now for him. Tynus leads the race by 11 seconds here over Jazzman, coming into the Tamburello chicane and in towards the hairpin for the 33rd time in this race. A 33-lap race here at Imola it's been tonight, and it's been an action-packed, non-stop excitement race here tonight. I'd say more exciting than the one at Silverstone last week, and Silverstone did not disappoint for sure. My audio was a little bit, it was a little bit bunged up last week, the audio. Unfortunately, you couldn't really hear me over the cars. Some people would like that, some people would be delighted about that, but for me it was just like, I couldn't really get my articulation and narration across very adequately. But nonetheless, here we are coming in towards the final few corners for Tynus in the house into the final sector on the final lap. Tynus in the house took the victory last week at Silverstone. He started in 2nd place on the grid in both races so far this season. Last week at Silverstone, he got the better start than Jazzman. He got the jump and led the entire race. This time around, Jazzman got a good start to the race and led the opening laps. He managed to put out a bit of a gap to Tynus, seemed to be the quicker driver in the first part of the race. Then Jazzman made the mistake, handed the initiative to Tynus, and Tynus then led the race. Jazzman started to reel him in the mid part of the race, but then a mistake towards the end, about 5-10 minutes from the end, allowed Tynus to just cruise home for the win, and he comes up towards the line to take his 2nd win in 2 weeks. Tynus in the house makes it 2 from 2 here for the start of the PS5 GT3 season at Motive Racing. Well done to Tynus in the house. What a superb drive here tonight. Jazzman is going to have to settle for runner-up once again. It'll be frustrating, I'm sure, with that one, but nonetheless a good performance there from him. 2 poles in 2 weeks. He just needs to convert that outright pace into consistency. But these two, I've got to say, massive hats off to them, because they are classes of the field, and it's looking at this relatively early stage in the season, 2 races into a 6-round season, it's looking like it's definitely going to be between these two for the championship. Roche coming into the final corner, here he comes, and out onto the start-finish straight. It's going to be a P3, a podium finish here for Roche as he comes up towards the line. Decent result there for Roche. Well, very good, I'd say, actually, considering the top 2 of Tynus in the house and Jazzman. High grades finished the race in 5th, Buzz 6th, Rumpu 7th, Sakin Andre 8th, and Raki 9th. Lucam comes over in P10. Krukip's just got a few corners to go. DeCruno finishes in 11th place. You've got Lexi Mate coming up towards the line. Going to be a P12 here for Lexi Mate. Some decent points there. So that's Lexi Mate P12. Poplog coming up towards the line. P13 for Poplog. Stones has finished in 16th. LRT Rooster 17th place there. Poplog over the line. Here's Salty Joe, 14th place. Had a quiet race, to be honest with you. Was in the midst of it in the early part, but then towards the middle to back end race, he had a bit of a quiet one. Salty Joe P14 in this race. Dazza Snipes had a flyer of a start. Was up in P7 at the beginning, but unfortunately made a few mistakes and plummeted down the order in the middle and last part of the race. P15 nonetheless for Dazza, and he'll get some good points for that. It won't be bad at all. And he's the last to finish here, but obviously ahead of Stones and LRT Rooster, who were a couple of laps down. But that is that then, ladies and gentlemen, for round 2 of the GT3s here on the PlayStation 5 platform at Motive. I want to say a massive thank you to everybody who's chimed in the comments tonight. Raki, Lightblade, Ratchid, obviously JR as well, Chris Bissick also, Ryan, the Run DJC crew have been absolutely all over the chat tonight. Great to have you guys as always. Poker Race as well earlier on in the stream. But yeah, thanks everybody guys, and we will see you in the next one. Join us on Wednesday night. We'll be back for the multi-class series. Also planning on a new thing for the PS5 on Wednesday nights. We're going to have obviously the multi-class series on the PS4. PS5 users can take part in that as well. But in terms of a PS5 exclusive event, we're going to be running weekly events, weekly cash prize events. Something those who are part of a community called Rubbings Racing will be familiar with a certain event called Thursday Night Lights. It's going to be like that, but with cash prizes. So people enter the event every week. No entry fee. It's free to enter. We are no strings attached. There'll be cash prizes available. You'll be able to enter the competitions for free and sign up each and every week. It'll be just like Thursday Night Lights. We haven't come up with a name for it just yet, but for those who are familiar with that, it's pretty exciting. But yeah, join us on Wednesday night for the multi-class. I don't think we'll have the first cash prize event ready this week, but certainly in the future we'll have that ready. But yeah, cheers everyone. Catch you on Wednesday, if not before. And bye-bye. Massive thank you.
Come in, I can seat you by the fire. Listen, there's something I must confide. I know I said that it'd be fine. I know I made it look like it'd be alright, but I think I learned my lesson, and I'm not gonna let you out of my sight. You can call me killer, 'cause I'll bring you to the light. And it might taste bitter when you're